everyone, and welcome to DVN Talk Show. Have you ever wondered just how far money can go to buy power? Tonight, we are talking about Pablo Escobar, a name that loomed large, wealth that seemed infinite, but a history shrouded in darkness. Before we dive into our deep discussions, let's take a look at this special report from our editorial team on the global scale of this case.
Good evening, viewers. Tonight we're examining the chilling legacy of Pablo Escobar and the Medellin cartel, which won control 80% of the world's cocaine, earning $70 million daily. Behind this immense wealth was a global crisis of addiction and a masterclass in manipulation. Escobar cleverly built a generous public image through social aids, weaponizing communication to hide his atrocity and build public tolerance. But behind this charitable facade lay pure terror. To protect his empire, he unleashed a wave of violence that killed over 4,000 people, including the tragic 1989 bombing of Avianca Flight 230. Escobar's story proved that narcotics paralyzed entire nation not just through violence, but through deception. Ultimately, fighting this threat is about more than law enforcement. It is about breaking criminal illusion and protecting our community for future generations. Reporting for tonight's special coverage, I am Neil.
This is the other side of Escobar's luxury that you may have never seen before. The illusion of gold.
In the eyes of the world, he was a king. With a fortune of $30 billion, Pablo Escobar could buy anything. Luxury mansions, a private zoo, even the very laws of a nation. But behind these mountains of cash lies a trail of blood that will never dry. Every gram of cocaine he shipped was paid for with a human life. This opulence was merely an illusion, for in the end, an empire built on drugs leads only to destination, a prison cell or an early grave.
So, joining me now are two experts, Sir Duffy, a criminal history researcher, and Sir Neo, a social activist. So let's begin. The first question is, was it really possible for Pablo Escobar to make $70 million in a day in 1980s?
Yes. Reports show Escobar controlled nearly 80% of the global cocaine market. His wealth was massive, but what made him even more powerful was his ability to build an image. Through donation and public projects, some poor communities saw him as a hero, even though his empire was built on drugs and violence.
And that's important because from the social side, that kind of wealth did more than by luxury. It created influence when struggling communities receive help. Many people focus on what he gave for them, not where the money came from. That is how a dangerous public image can begin.
But he also bombed Avianca Flight 203, killing 107 people. Did that prove he saw himself above the law?
Yes, that tragedy showed the real cost of his empire. His luxury, private zoo, and fame were funded by fear, murder, and destruction.
And there is the social danger. Because Escobar's wealth and lifestyle become powerful symbols, especially for young people. Media often highlight luxury, charisma, and power, which can make crime look attractive while hiding the suffering of victims.
So his public image influenced people beyond fear.
Exactly. As a public figure, Escobar influenced society through both admiration and fear. This is how media framing works. When people focus on wealth and status, they may ignore moral consequence. He may have helped some community, but he also spread addiction, violence, and trauma worldwide.
So Sir Duffy, what is the biggest lessons from his downfall?
The biggest lesson from his downfall is that image can shape perception, but it cannot erase truth. Escobar built power through money, fear, and public influence, but in the end, he died handed and alone. His story proves that fame without morality leads to destruction.
Thank you to Sir Duffy and Sir Neo. Today, we learned that Pablo Escobar was not only a criminal, but also an example of how public image and communications can influence society, even when the reality is built on violence. behind the luxury were thousands of lives destroyed. Up next, we will be joined by an organization, a movement that is absolutely vital for all of us, the Say No to Drugs campaign. Let's check it out.
On the world stage, UNODC, or United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, leads the global event. By strengthening international cooperation, they ensure that no criminal empire is ever above the law. They fight to stop the narcotics that destroy physical health, families, and nations across the globe.
In Indonesia, BNN stands as our national protector, defending people from the dangers of drugs. BNN also fights drug trafficking, educates communities about the dangers of narcotics, support rehabilitations for those seeking recovery, and raises awareness to build a safer nation. So, by protecting communities today, BNN also safeguards our dream, health, and the future of our generations.
And right here in the special region of Yogyakarta, BNNPDI is dedicated to keeping our city of education safe. They work closely with our school and campus, ensuring that the environment where we learn and grow remains bright, healthy, and drug-free.
Everyone, we have learned so much today from the story of Pablo Escobar. We saw how the $30 billion fortune we watched in the documentary was, in reality, nothing but just a deadly illusion. So, before I close, I want to leave you all with one message. Your future is far more precious than any pile of blood money or the fleeting pleasure that drugs offer. Never let curiosity destroy the dreams you have spent your life building. Say no to drugs and stay safe.